Why, hello there, everybody, and good evening, fellow managers. Welcome to the first edition of Commissioner on the Couch for the 2013-2014 season. In case you're wondering, this is a autographed Costco hat because some people love me. In any case, let's get down to it, right? And please accept my deepest apologies that I missed the first 2 weeks of the season. Shit was kind of cray. So I'm going to start off with the weekly recap. In my opinion, the reason why fantasy football is so exciting is because of how important each and every week is. With only 13 regular season games before the playoffs begin, every win and every loss is magnified. Now that 3 weeks are already in the books, it's already evident that some of the teams are in trouble, while others are on their way to playoff contention. So, I'll give you a quick recap of last week's matchups. The first matchups, Chalupa Batmans versus the Walking Deez. If team names counted for anything, both these teams would be undefeated. Unfortunately, that's not how the league works. So both these squads went into their matchups with an 0-2 record, knowing full well that a loss would mean a serious uphill battle for the playoffs when it was all said and done. The Chalupa Batmans managed to pull off the biggest blowout of the week by winning by over 43 points. However, that was more due to the fact that the Walking Deez saw some horrible performances from guys who are usually key contributors. Hopefully the Uranian brothers can turn things around before it's too late, pull a little Arabian magic out of their hats, out of their magic carpets, or wherever they pull stuff out of over there, and get in the win column next week. The next matchup is Hello versus Caught Red Hernandez. Not even a ridiculous performance by Antonio Brown on Sunday night could put a stop to the Caught Red Hernandez juggernaut. Granted, Hello made some poor roster decisions, but I'm not sure that it would have mattered anyways, because Hernandez is the hottest team in the league by a wide margin right now. Kudos to manager Ben Wedge Joseph, who is known for having strong starts, but we'll have to see about his finishes. In any case, he has dominated every matchup so far this season, and he has a 3-0 record. But there's bye weeks starting now in week 4, so we'll see if his team has enough depth to keep that pace. The third matchup of the week was the All Blacks versus Val Venus. So Auto Pick King Val Venus suffered their first loss, thankfully. No offense to you, Rob, if you're watching this, but we weren't at the draft, so some people want to see you lose once in a while. So they suffered their first loss of the season at the hands of the All Blacks. And like I said, I think we can all breathe a sigh of relief because a lot of work goes into the drafting process. So seeing an auto-pick team go 3-0 would probably make everyone want to kill themselves for all the work they put in. So now both these teams are heading into week 4 with a 2-1 record, and they both look pretty good. The fourth matchup of the week was the Rafi Bombs versus My Password is Taco. After 2 great weeks, My Password is Taco saw a pretty big drop-off in production, and I think his kicker was almost his top scorer, so you're not going to win very many matchups with that strategy. Everyone has a bad week though, so there's no need to dwell on it, and I do think Rafi Bombs is actually one of the stronger teams in the league, so even if your team would have had that kind of production, I don't know if it would have made a difference. Nothing flashy, but they have a very solid roster at all positions, and they are currently leading the Franco-Harris Conference. The final matchup of the week was Points on Points versus Bo Knows Football. Peyton Manning and the Chicago defense combined for over 50 points to lead Points on Points to a win over Bo Knows Football. And Bo Knows Football has seen some really bad luck at the beginning of the season. He now has an 0-3 record, but his team has the 4th highest points in the league, points scored. A bright spot for him is that Cam Newton actually had a very good performance. He put up over 30 points. So it should only be a matter of time before the wins start rolling in for Bo Knows Football. One last thing I want to mention before moving on is that Peyton Manning has been absolutely otherworldly so far this season. He wasn't necessarily a sleeper pick, obviously, he's Peyton Manning, but considering he was a third-round pick and 6 QBs were taken before him, that's some serious draft value right there. Playoff predictions. Usually at this time I have a commercial, but time and budget constraints, no commercial this week. Hopefully I'll be able to work that in subsequent weeks. So playoff predictions, the 6 teams that I believe will make the playoffs this year are in this order. COAC Red Hernandez, Rafi Baum, the 2 division leaders. Then points on points, All Blacks, Chalupa Batmans, and Val Venus. From there, I see the All Blacks beating Chalupa Batmans and points on points beating Val Venus in the semifinals. And after that, I see COAC Red Hernandez taking down the All Blacks in the semis, while Rafi Baum takes down points on points, leading us to a 1 versus 2 final. Well, yeah, 1 versus 2 final. And my final prediction for the championship is the Rafi Bombs with a 113.46 to 102.81 victory over COAC Red Hernandez. Like any predictions, we all know that this is going to be horribly wrong come the end of the season. So now let's take a look ahead at next week, or tomorrow, now that we have these Thursday night games. First matchup we're going to look at is the Chalupa Batmans versus Hello. So this is a battle of teams looking to get back to 500 football. Unfortunately for the Hellos, stud QB Aaron Rodgers is on bye this week, so that's going to hurt a little bit. Nonetheless, the projection as of right now gives a slight edge to the Chalupas, 110.84 to 110.49. But the Chalupas could see a really big boost this week with the return of the Gronk. So my pick is going to have to be the Chalupas if Gronk plays, the Hellos if he doesn't. The second matchup we're going to look at is COAC Red Hernandez versus My Password is Taco. I can't see Hernandez losing this week, or anytime soon for that matter. Once Taco puts probably Cecil Shorts and the Arizona defense into his lineup, Hernandez will still be projected to win by almost 20 points, so he's my pick to win that matchup this week. The All Blacks versus Rafi Baum. The All Blacks will have to drop someone if they want to fill their tight end spot for this matchup, whereas the Rafi Baums seem to have a little more depth, and they won't be as greatly affected by the loss of D'Angelo Williams to a bye week, so I'm going to have to go with the Bombs in this one. Then there's Val Venus versus points on points. This one is hard to predict, but I think the difference will be the production from the running backs. With Arian Foster playing the vaunted Seahawks defense and MJD playing for the Jacksonville offense, I have to give the edge to the points in this one, and also Peyton Manning. The guy's out of control. So finally, for the game of the week goes to the Walking Dez versus Bo Knows Football. Both these teams are winless and looking to turn their seasons around. Bo Knows Football has been rather unlucky throughout the first 3 weeks, like I mentioned, while the Walking Dez has just been rather unproductive. Despite a good-looking roster, there's a lot of big names on that team. Bo is hurting pretty bad at running back, though, and I think that's going to be the difference here. Neither team is particularly deep at running back, but it's not quantity, guys. It's quality, by the way, because you both have like 5 running backs on your roster. But Bo is suffering from some early season injury issues, and that might handcuff him a little bit. So my pick for the game of the week is the Walking Dez to come away from that matchup with their first win of the season, and Bo Knows Football unfortunately dropping to 0-4. That's the way I see it all shaping up for this week, boys. As the season continues, like I said, I'll try to work the weekly spotlight back into the show so that you guys can get some airtime, and I'll try and work those commercials back into the show just for a little comic relief. And that's it. Have a good week 4. See you later.